How's it going, guys? Today I want to talk about further thoughts on Cebu City. Do I recommend it? Do I not? Are there better places to live? Let's go. So when I first moved here in the Philippines, I landed in Cebu City. Often people will say why, and my quick answer is, of course, there was a girl involved and there was work. I opened up my first business here in Cebu City, got an office here in 2019, came back and forth between California and Cebu City in 2019, and then I moved here January 2020. Now, most of my time in the Philippines has been spent here in Cebu City. I did live in Davao City for about half a year, and I still go back there pretty regularly. I've been in Manila quite a bit and traveled to other places. So 5 years on coming here to the Philippines, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of the culture here, but things are very regional. And so living in Cebu City for 5 years, I feel like I really know it best, the strengths, the weaknesses, and if it's a place that I would recommend to people. So first, I'm really thinking of people that are living in other countries right now or that are newer to the Philippines, or perhaps even people that have lived in other parts of the Philippines for some years, but they're really considering if there's somewhere else in the Philippines that they would like to live. Is Cebu City worth considering? For me, when I think about the Philippines, there's really big cities like Manila, but they're pretty few and far between. I mean, there's just one Manila. Then with other cities, there's Cebu City. It's pretty large and populated. There's Davao City. It's very spread out geographically, a couple million people over there. And then there's a lot of other regional places that you really see growing, like Iloilo, different places like that are still big cities and really worth considering. So my sense, talking to expats over here and living over here, is that you really are only going to want to, for the most part, consider a big city like Manila, and only if you really like big cities. Not everybody likes Manila. I personally do. Every time I've been in Manila, I've really enjoyed my time there and I want to explore it a lot more. However, that's not normally the feedback that I get from expats. Mostly the guys coming over here are like, I don't like Manila, I don't want to live there. But I do find that most expats that go to places like Cebu City, Davao City, Iloilo tend to really like those places. Overwhelmingly, I hear expats saying that Cebu City is their favorite place that they went, and it's so often the place that they choose to live. So my recommendation always is come to Cebu City if you're new to the Philippines. It's just a great middle of the road place. However, if you could spend a little bit of time in Manila and also pick one or two other regional places to spend a little bit of time in, it's really going to get you a feel for the flavor of the Philippines. Go to a smaller province area just so you can most likely say, I would not be able to survive here. There's just not enough selection for the kind of stuff that I want. There's very few amount of expats that come to the Philippines and are willing to live in a smaller province type of area, but also check out some middle of the road, smaller type cities as well. You might be surprised that you enjoy those as well. Try a beach town or two. You might also find, if you're a beach lover, if you like to dive and different things like that, there might be some cities that are great for you as well. However, even the people that I know that are really passionate about the beach, passionate about diving, are often living somewhere like Cebu City and then just traveling to somewhere where they could go diving because they really enjoy the convenience of somewhere like Cebu City. Now, for me, what do I like about Cebu? And what do I hear other people saying that they like here? So Cebu City is a lot bigger than just Cebu Business Park and Cebu IT Park. However, those areas and kind of the areas surrounding them, connecting to them, which is pretty small geographically, tend to be where probably 95% of expats that come to Cebu City live. There's a lot of surrounding areas. It just tends to be areas that maybe you have to travel just a little bit further, or where there might be housing that is just not as popular for an expat crowd. So I would always say check out Business Park, IT Park, and also the Lahog area, because you'll find that there's a lot of great housing in those areas of Cebu City. Now, some people also say that they moved to Cebu because they love the beautiful white sand beaches here. However, if you lived in the areas that I talked about, you're going to have to travel about 45 minutes to get somewhere like Mactan Island, which is where you fly into the international airport here in Cebu. There's going to be some public beaches that maybe you would just pay a very small amount for. However, most of the beaches here are really part of pretty pricey resorts over here that are definitely worth checking out. But it's not just quite so easy as accessing the beach as it might be if you're from somewhere like Florida or California or, Sydney or, Brisbane, somewhere else that has a lot of beach land to it, where it's relatively cheap and accessible and, a lot of beach areas. In Cebu, there is a lot of beautiful white sand beaches, but you have to travel often 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to be able to get to a lot of those beautiful beaches. So if you're moving to Cebu City because you've heard the beaches are so great here, I find that a little bit misleading because you're really going to have to travel a little bit to get to them. And depending on where you go, it might be a little bit pricey to be able to access them. For example, there's a resort in Mactan called Shangri-La, and it just has a beautiful white sand beach, beautiful clear blue water. And the thing that I like about Shangri-La Resort compared to a lot of others is there's a reef, which you could find Nemo, his cousins, his sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts. They're all there. It's just a beautiful place if you want to go out right on the beach in a beautiful place in Cebu and experience the ocean. But you're going to probably spend about $350, $400 a night for that experience. So that's just not something that most expats are going to want to do frequently, maybe from time to time. There is other parts of the Philippines worth considering, like perhaps Boracay or El Nido or Coron or La Union or Siargao. You know, there's a lot of other beach towns that are probably worth considering if the main place you want to be is the beach. So my recommendations for Cebu City is really if you want everyday life living where you have accessibility to most of the modern conveniences that you would want in everyday life. There's a good expat community here if that's something that you care about. There's just a lot of wonderful people, Filipinos, that are here, that are, you know, working and living everyday life here. And I have to say that Cebuanos are super, super friendly with everywhere that I've been in the Philippines. Filipinos aren't the same everywhere. And I think that's one of the things that people don't share enough. My experience of Cebu City first moving here was amazing. Just how friendly, outgoing, warm, you know, conversational people in Cebu City are. But if you go to other parts of the Philippines, you might find that at first people are a lot more conservative, reserved, slower to talk to strangers, slower to talk to foreigners. I mean, Filipinos are super, super friendly compared to so many other places that you might travel. However, Cebuanos here in Cebu City are as friendly as I've met. So that's really one of the wonderful things about being in Cebu as well. Now, are there downsides to Cebu City? There are. The first, second, and third ones are traffic, and traffic. So if you don't like traffic, then Cebu City might not be the place for you. And my good buddy Gil came over here to start working with us from Davao City recently, and I always used to tell him, wait till you experience Cebu City traffic. And he'd experienced traffic in Davao City and other parts of the Philippines, and he's like, how bad can it be? I said, just wait. And he came over here, and I saw him again just last night. He's like, everything you told me about traffic in Cebu City is true. My friend Marco over here is always quick to say, riding around on his bicycle, that is the quickest way to get around in Cebu City, unless maybe you're on a motorcycle, but definitely riding a bicycle, riding a motorcycle, heck, even walking is going to be quicker at times in Cebu City than getting around in a car, that's for sure. So would I recommend Cebu City to you as a place to live? Absolutely, but everybody has to really decide for themselves, and the only way to do that is to really take time living over here. Having spent half a year in Davao City, I would also say go to Davao. Now, Davaoenos often say, listen, can you stop telling people to move over to Davao City? We're just happy with things the way they are here, and I get that. But I can't help myself because I gotta say, Davao City is absolutely one of my favorite places to live as well. A little bit different from Cebu City, but I'll leave that for another video. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Have you been over here to Cebu City? If so, what did you think about it? Have you been to other places here in the Philippines? Do you prefer them more? Let me know that as well. As always, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch. Take care.